Last hour.
Last hour.
Oh man.
How you feel?
You know what? Bittersweet.
Yeah.
Bittersweet. On one hand, I'm really excited about the journey that both of you are going to take when you leave here. It's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get brighter.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I'm going to miss. I'm going to miss you guys here. I never worried about morning drive for the last 14 years and everything, and that's I love you both. So I remember that time very, very well and everything. I would try to sell you on Atlanta, but you know what? You did well by Atlanta, and Atlanta's done well by you.
Yeah, we had a good time. Yeah. Wow.
I know, right?
So we got some questions for you.
Uh-oh.
I didn't know this part.
Turn around.
You might have to bring Reggie in here too. So, are we still gonna be able to go to V103 events? Like, we still gonna be able to get? Can we still get tickets?
Yeah, we still get free tickets.
Because I'm not used to paying for concert tickets.
I don't like lines.
I don't like lines.
I'm allergic to lines.
Yeah.
I get attitude.
I cannot stand.
it.
I can't stand in that for sisters only line. I just need to know.
I'm not buying no tickets for sisters only.
The V Jam, something.
We got you. We got you. You know what?
Because Delta Airlines, when they leave out, they still get their flight privileges.
Both of you, when you talk about legacy, nobody does 10-year runs in any day parts in radio or in television or in this industry at all. So no, both of you got a lot of bricks in this foundation that we call V103. So I hope you always consider this place home. No matter where you go, no matter what you do. You go to another radio station, okay, fine, but this is still home for you too.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for always believing in me. And I remember the day I got offered the job, I wasn't even thinking about radio. And they had been watching me for a whole year. Mm-hmm. And I remember the night, Ralph Davis was a salesperson at the time. He came up to me and said, "Hey, you want to do morning radio?" I was like, no. He was like, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm getting ready to go look to LA and do comedy and movies." And he said, "Let me talk to you." And I remember him taking me in the back and talking with me, and we gave it a try, and it felt right. So sometimes what God had planned for you, I wasn't supposed to move to LA at the time. I was supposed to stay here and get people to work and to bring laughter and joy and love to the station. So I appreciate you for choosing me. There are a lot of people and comedians that could have been chosen, but I was the chosen one, so thank you very much. And can I please still keep my insurance?
Now Wanda. So
that's so important.
Yeah, especially we got kids.
Under the Obamacare. Come on, we got a black president, black man.
I remember when I'm gonna say this to everybody, because this is when you know that things are supposed to happen. Okay, when Rick said, "Come to Atlanta," he said, "Go ahead and build your team, get your people." And I said, "Well, I'm gonna bring Griff, this guy I met from Washington D.C." He said, "Well, we got a comedian we want you to, but she's already there. She's, Wanda." I said, "Wanda." I said, "Who is Wanda?" Now watch this.
Yes.
I got a flashback 2 years before that. I was doing mornings at V103 in Baltimore with Gene Ross. And Gene Ross and I came to Atlanta to film a television commercial. And that night, we decided to go out for drinks. We went to the Underground. And there was a comedy club in the Underground.
Teddy's Live.
I went into the comedy club, and Gene Ross and I had never laughed so hard at this woman who stood on the stage with a cup with Hennessy in it and a small drink straw, and she would sip out of her cup and tell these jokes. And I said, "Gene," "that's the future, man. If you can get a girl like that." And I remember I made some inquiries and nobody knew, whatever, right? So we move on. 2 years later, we're here, getting ready to do the show. And Reggie says, "Go to Cafe Echelon tonight."
Tony Brown said.
Tony Brown. Yeah. Go to Cafe Echelon. I'll go to Cafe Echelon and trying to see who this Wanda. The club is packed. It's crazy. You can't move in there. I said, "When is this comedy show starting?" It's like, black folk. And this girl comes out on stage with a cup with Hennessy in it, with a drink straw. And I said, well, damn. That's Wanda Smith. That's Wanda? I remember, Rick, I called you. I said, oh, I've been looking for her. I've been looking for her for 2 years. For 2 years. I had seen you 2 years earlier doing that comedy show in the underground and said, I want to work with her. They sent me to Cafe Echelon. You come out hosting, and I was like, okay, that's the one. And the rest is history, 14 years later.
Hey.
That's when you know. That's when you know it's supposed to happen.
That's right. That's right.
So thank you, Rick Caffey.
Hey, you know what? Thank both of you. Thank both of you. I mean, it's you know, in this business, we all have a privilege to really serve this community of Atlanta, and it really is a privilege. I mean, and you guys never took it for granted. You always, you know, look to do things that were to help people, and I think the biggest thing you could say about Frank and Wanda is that you made a difference. And you made a difference in so many people's lives. You know, and that's not only just people out in the Atlanta community. You made a difference for people here in this building, you know, at our radio station.
All right.
You know, and so your contributions are very significant. You know, we're going to miss you. You know, but we're also going to be applauding you from afar and just encouraging you and prayers and just looking for that great journey that you guys can continue to develop, and you know what, just keep going for it, and keep making a difference.
All right. So what's your before he goes, what's your biggest Rick Caffey memory?
The day when we were actually out riding around the B103 truck, and I don't remember exactly who was driving, but we were out doing something for the soldiers. So we drove around, and you're supposed to get approved. You're supposed to be approved before you go to a mall or anything like that. So we were driving. I said, let's go out to West End Mall. So we rolled over there, and we were like sitting in the truck, and we were selling these little pens for the soldiers. And I remember this guy came in the security truck, and he was like, hey, y'all not supposed to be over here passing out these pens. I said, oh, go down. So we kept riding around, and he was following us in the B103 truck. Duh, me not thinking. When I got, so he kept following. Every time he drive up on us, we'll pull up and go to the other side of the mall. So I got a phone call from Rick Caffey. He was like, Wanda? I said, yes. He said, I need you to come to the station. I was like, okay. And I get to the station, and he wasn't his normal happy self, like, hey, Wanda. He was like, have a seat.
Yeah.
I sat down, I was like, okay. He said, why were you at that mall misbehaving? Were you being disrespectful? Were you being He was like yelling at me. I was like, yes, sir. He made me go over to the mall and apologize to Mr. Dent, whatever his name was. But that was the most funniest thing to me, because I'd never seen him get that angry with me. And I was like, my feelings are so hurt because he never yelled at me. But that's like my most memorable moment, that I got in so much trouble for just being me.
Oh boy. I think mine is every time we had a weird request. You know, he's like, that's just, I can do, you guys want me to do Rick Caffey? No. That's just scratching his head. Remember we said we want to take 200 people to Africa. Africa. Yeah. You know, but whenever we wanted to do something crazy, he eventually said yes.
Thank you for allowing us to tour the world.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for me, was to be able to go to Africa and to share that with people that listen to us every day, and go to China and Dubai, and man, places I probably would have never dreamed of going to, that I can share with people that has never been. So my job is to, maybe someday be able to take 500 people, back to those places. But you always said yes. Summer trips, Cancun, the Bahamas. Thank you to people that believed in us to go to those places. Somebody going to Africa because we said let's go. And they were beautiful trips. I love everybody that traveled with us, and for me, that was one of the most beautiful things I've ever done in my life, was to be able to travel the world and to get a second passport, because the first one was so full.
There you go.
Well, you know
Rick
what?
Caffey, thank you.
That was my favorite moment. My favorite broadcast you guys did was that first broadcast you did when you were in Africa, and it was like this big electronic bridge that went from Africa to Atlanta, and you guys paint the picture of what it was like there. And I know from my standpoint, I said I gotta go. I gotta go based on the exposure that you brought, to all of Atlanta. So those ideas, when I might have put my hand to my head and sighed a little bit and everything, but you know what? My instincts told me that you guys were always on to something. So,
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Lance.
All right, let's make you some money real quick. We'll be right back.
All right.
Frank and Wanda, V103.